Hello everyone, Nubkeks here, doing a quick patch notes review for the new PTR patch that just dropped today. By surprise, as far as I know, September 19th, 2016. Don't think it was announced beforehand. And yeah, there's some pretty cool changes in here. We're going to look, there's a new hero Zarya, there's a new map, Warhead Junction, reworks for E.T.C, Chen, and Nazeebo, and then some fairly actually significant tweaks to a couple other heroes like Malfurion and Tychus and so on. So we're going to dive through these notes and go through them. There will be videos in each of the hero reworks up on the channel as well, so you can go and check those out and see exactly how it pans out. But yeah, let's just blast through this. So there's going to be a new map rotation when the patch goes live on September 27th in all modes. They'll be temporarily limited. We'll have Warhead Junction and Brax's holdout to the two new maps, Towers of Doom, Dragonshire, Battlefield of Eternity, and Cursed Hollows. So pretty interesting selection of maps right there. And during this time, they can do any battleground and custom games. Okay, yeah, yada yada. And that will continue until October 17th. Yeah, so that'll probably be the next large patch. Will be October 17th, and we'll see the map pool change then. I'm curious. I wonder, it will be like a big map pool, or will they reduce it kind of permanently? I don't know. Tutorials have been improved. All right, cool. Zarya, new hero. Pretty interesting. Yeah, she's basically the same as Zarya from Overwatch. You can see her stuff is here. Let's actually hop into the game, and here she is. I haven't done a video on her yet, but yeah, her trait is energy. She doesn't have mana, but whenever she absorbs damage, using her damage absorbing abilities, she's going to generate energy, which improves her damage and will decay over time as well. She's very much a supportive type warrior, kind of a mix between a warrior and like Tassadar, something like that. She's also ranged, which is kind of cool. But she can apply personal barrier, absorbing a big chunk of damage on herself. She can also shield an ally, absorbing a big chunk of damage on them. Then she's got this skill shot ability, her Q, which she can fire off and does like just damage in an area. Choice of two heroics, one knocking people away and one sucking them into the middle. I think she's going to be really interesting, and we'll do a full video on her. This is her skins, by the way. That's what she looks like. Pretty cool. That's pretty funky. I like it. And then this is a pretty cool skin. It's kind of dark, but you get the idea. We'll do more in-depth look in her as we go forwards. There's a new battlefield, which is Warhead Junction. You can check out the video on it here. The basic idea of Warhead Junction is that it's a very large map, and these warheads spawn around the map. You can pick up the warhead. It's got a very long channel to pick it up, and when you have it, your hero is then carrying a nuke. You can activate the nuke. It's a new ability bound to the F key, and you can cast it. It does a big chunk of damage to heroes and a massive chunk of damage to structures and minions. So really interesting map. I'll be very excited to dive more in depth into that in some of the videos as well. I think my Nazeebo rework video, which we've already done, does happen on Warhead Junction if you want to check that out sort of initially, and I'll bring some more gameplay on that in the future as well. Chen Nazeebo, new visual effects for their talent reworks, pretty nice. And yeah, new shop bundles, Raider Rexar, Undying Legends, yada yada yada. Zarya's in the shop. Judgment Charger's leaving, Lunar Dragon, Spectre, Phantom, Direwolf, sorry, Judgment Charger's coming back, these ones are going. Skins for Zarya and stuff. Diablo's price and Murden's prices have been reduced, so that's pretty good news for anyone who wants to play those heroes. Second tutorial. Yeah, sound effects. New sound effect for Seasoned Marksman. Okay. Voiceover will play on the MVP commendation screen. It says epic and legendary. It's funny enough. Alright, anyway. Oh yes, so first up, let's go through all these changes. First up, we got Li Ming. Li Ming, her orb has been nerfed quite a bit actually. So the beginning size is 33% smaller, the max size is 33% smaller, and then the explosion that happens is reduced by 15%. So it's going to make it much more difficult to land those orbs. It's actually hilarious down here. Look at this, they go, the solid changes definitely look like a nerf on paper. In actual testing, we felt like they gave players tighter control with a lot less early detonations on unintended targets. Why thank you, Blizzard. I think it's hilarious that they're trying to play off this huge nerf to her W as actually being a buff. It's like, what are you talking about? This is, you've reduced the explode, like, this is a huge nerf. It is a big nerf. They have buffed her W build though apart from that. So Triumvirate, now reduces the cooldown by 50% instead of 5 seconds, but the distance required is smaller. And then this talent, which I think it improves damage, it's also going to reduce the cooldown. So that's kind of nice. So you can, yeah, the orb build is going to be there. I don't know if it's going to be any good. They've made the talents better, but the orb worse. But definitely, I think Li Ming is quite clearly a bit overpowered at the moment. after they nerfed like all the other ranged assassins. So it's good that she's getting a bit of a nerf. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be harder to play her, and that's good. Next up we have Tychus. His base health has been increased. His base health regen has been increased. However, Shrug It Off has been removed. This is his level 1 talent. It's over here. If you go away, it's the one that gave him resistant whenever he used his dash. That's going to be gone. You can now get the one that increases your speed. You get one that increases your basic attack range, which has been buffed, or it reduces basic attacks, reduce the cooldown of it. So yeah, you got to make those choices. They wanted to be a tanky assassin. They didn't like it that much, and yeah, they're just making it all about mobility basically, and that makes sense to me. Nazeebo has received a substantial rework in so many different ways. You can check out the video. There's just look at all this wall of text. There's so much stuff going on, but needless to say, his basic abilities have been changed quite a bit. His talents have all been changed quite a lot as well. His heroics have been tweaked a bit too. Yeah, I think his rework was very much needed, and it's great. You can see I did a big video in depth on that. It should be up on the channel very shortly too, or before this one, I'm not sure. He's one of the oldest heroes in the game. Talent tree is in dire need of an upgrade. The goal of the revamp was to increase the reward of mastering his abilities. Basically, they made his abilities harder to use, actually require skill, and not just auto-target. They wanted to be a zone control, damage over time character. There's like the questing thing built into his death ritual now. And yeah, lack of burst damage, lack of mobility. And yeah, there we go. He does feel fairly similar to the old Nazeebo. I guess we'll tell in time how good he ends up being. Couldn't quite tell in that first video, but certainly his talents are much more interesting now, so that's good. And just his basic abilities actually requiring skill, so that's good too. Apart from Zombie Wall, which always did, but the other two require skill now, and that's nice. A little bit of a buff to Karazim, who's been overly nerfed. Malfurion has actually received quite significant tweaks right here, and it's pretty good because he's been in a pretty bad spot. But his Q, his heal, the cooldown is now 5 seconds instead of 7. The mana cost is about half what it used to be. It lasts 50% longer. However, the heal over time ticks for a little bit less. But it will add up to more over time. But just straight up burst healing is going to be a little bit lower. Obviously, the huge deal here. Okay, compare the cooldown and the duration. Instead of being a 10-second duration with a 7-second cooldown, which means you're mostly going to be casting it on the one target, the most hurt target, over and over again. It's now a 15-second duration with a 5-second cooldown, and you're going to be spreading out your Qs way more. You're going to get a lot more AoE healing done. It's going to be really nice, and you're going to be able to sustain your team up much more. It's going to be a really cool identity for Malfurion. I actually really like this change a lot. They also increased the range of the roots, and the roots will now activate that little bit quicker, so it's going to be easier to land your roots on targets, which is nice. And check out this big change to Innervate. At the moment it restores, I think it's 20% of the hero's max mana over 5 seconds. Now additionally it's going to reduce the cooldown, or make their abilities cooldown 50% faster for 5 seconds. So going to have a really powerful impact in a team fight. You know, throw it on a Muradin, or I don't know, E.T.C, like someone with lots of CC, or Kerrigan, Alarak. It could be kind of nuts, the impact this could have. Very cool to see that at work. A few of his healing talents for Q have been removed, and there you go. They do know that Malfurion needs more work in his talent tree, and that's good because he does. It's pretty bad, but yeah, they want to give him a better niche in the meantime, and that's fine. Yeah, so they want a big part of his gameplay to be rolling heal over time effects among multiple allies to keep them alive, and give allies cooldown reduction in addition to mana. And there you go, and make his roots easier to land. And yeah, nice changes from Malfurion. Looking forward to having a big talent rework for him in the future. We also have a large talent rework for Chen. I haven't had a chance to try this yet, so I'm not sure. Again, big wall of text, but we will dive into this ourselves. It looks like his basic abilities haven't been changed much, but Storm, Earth, and Fire is now very much different. If all 3 spirits die, Chen is killed, so that's crazy. Spirit health has been increased though, and each spirit is going to give him a special ability. The Q will increase the movement speed by a lot for 5 seconds. The Earth one will make the Fire and Earth spirits leap at the target, slowing enemies in a large area. And then Fire one will increase the basic attack speed of the spirits. So it's going to make Storm, Earth, and Fire much more interesting to use than it used to be before. A very cool heroic. Certainly at high level, it was almost never taken. Wandering Keg was the only one. So this might add some variety in terms of how he plays. And yeah, I will cover all of these talent changes in depth in an actual video. And we have a new structure as well, guys, for the PTR videos. I think you'll like it. We're going to dive into try mode, investigate all the abilities, all the talents, and then after that, we'll dive into a game. We'll pick our talent build before we go into the game, and then we'll try it out and see what we think. I think it should be pretty good. But there you go. Let's read the developer comments here. We know how much passion our players have for Chen, and spent months upgrading his talent trees to our newest philosophies. Give you an idea what we're looking to improve. A couple of goals. You should be able to solo tank for your team and not be afraid to constantly soak enemy skill shots. Cool. Constant threat to enemies' backline damage dealers. Okay. Deal low amounts of burst damage while continually applying sustained damage at pointed targets. Alright. Be extremely resilient in the absence of enemy stuns. They're listening to feedback and stuff. And there you go. It's important to master the brew, not let it master you. I mean, it sounds kind of similar to what Chen was already doing before, but maybe just focusing in on that a bit more. I'm excited to try that out. We're going to be streaming that tomorrow. If this goes up today, probably will. Going to do it tomorrow, I think. We're going to look at Chen and we're going to look at Zarya. And that's the plan. E.T.C has also been changed. We will have a video up for his rework as well. Power slide range has been increased by default. The big change to E.T.C from having played him is that power slide, you don't get the level 1 and 4 talents now. So it by default has longer range, but those talents are gone. So you don't get the extra speed and extra width, which means power slide is much harder to land. Which means, and they also nerfed a couple of his W talents by moving them around in tiers and reducing their impact. So it means that his type of play in high level, he's like this ganking hero, really powerful pick hero, getting that power slide through and knockback. It's going to be weaker. It's going to be easier to dodge the power slide. It's going to be harder to use the power slide. I feel like you got nice talent variety potentially, and being able to build into different things at the lower levels, at all the different talent tiers, and that's going to really probably make him a bit better at lower levels of play. He's going to be a bit more useful overall. At higher levels of play, I think it is going to be a nerf, because that really powerful gank and pick potential is going to be reduced, but he does get maybe some more power in return on the other talent tiers. I'm not exactly sure it's going to work out power wise, but definitely I feel a high level is going to be a nerf, because you're nerfing his ideal thing, which is his pick power. But it's pretty cool. You can check out full look into the talent rework. For example, the Groupies talent, Groupies prog rock combo that people really enjoyed, has just been worked into prog rock at level 1. So it's a quest now. You collect regen globes. When you've collected 20, you're now going to heal allies near you whenever you use guitar solo. So that's pretty nice. His E ability, which gives him a heal. Pretty cool. And yeah, they like his core gameplay, want more talent variety. And there you go. So more options to play up the bard aspect of his kit, make him more of a team player. Pretty interesting rework overall. Wasn't expecting it, but it does kind of make sense, because he did have a very specific talent build, especially at high levels. And there you go, guys. That's the reworks. We've got some bug fixes as well. Nothing too huge, I don't think. You can't cocoon Garden Terrors or Dragon Knights, and you can't overpower them with Diablo either. So that's worth noting. And yeah, I think that's mostly it. We've got those 3 reworks. We've got the Chen rework. I'll just like flick through these talents if you want to take a look here. If you want to pause the video. I hope I'm not covering these, am I? I don't know if I am. I don't think so. This one, this one, this one. And this, and this, just because these video won't be up on time. And then Zarya, if you want to see those as well. Yeah. Again, pause if you want to see any of these. You will see them all in detail in those videos, but because I won't have these up for a day, I just want to do this in case anyone wants to look through real quick and struggling to find that info anywhere else. Not an ideal way of handling it, but the way we're going to deal with it. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. That is the patch notes for today. Really quick video, actually. Hey, I did it quicker than usual. But yeah, I should have the E.T.C and the Nazeebo videos up real shortly, so watch out for those. By the way, so cool. Warhead Junction in French is Menace Nucléaire, the nuclear menace, or something like that, which is amazing. How cool is that? I think it's awesome. But yeah, it's a nice little patch, and I'll see you guys on the PTR for more of these live streams, and I'll have the VODs up on YouTube as well. See you all then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Wrong button. Every time.